الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله
Assalamu alaikum wa
وعلى آله
rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
وصحبه ومن والاه.
After
أولا
praising Allah
أحييكم
subhanahu wa ta'ala
بتحية
and sending
إسلامية
peace and the Prophet peace and the prayers upon his Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam,
ومرحبا
Sheikh is
بكم
welcoming
جميعا
everyone
بهذه الحلقة
to this new episode of
الرابعة
the
والثلاثين، والتي تأتي في
live
يوم الجمعة
fatwa
14 من شهر
from Mishkah Center in Houston,
أعاد
Texas.
الله علينا وعليكم
Today is the 14th of Ramadan, 14th of March. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you and give you the best in this holy month of Ramadan. First question about our brothers and sisters in Gaza. Is there any exit or Shari exit to count or to calculate the fees we pay to transfer the money of the zakat to this land? Because the fees is almost like 20%. And then the one who pays zakah, you know, gonna see this percentage is too high and he pays that out of his pocket. So the default in that or the origin of that is in order to provide the zakat to people, like if there is fees, that must be on the payer, the one who pays that. This is the madhab of Shafi'i and the Hanbali, and it's like a good point here. And now I said it's whenever the transfer of the money to this zakat from a location to a location or a country to a country, it's gonna be on the owner of that money for the one who pays the zakat. Al Mardawi also said in his the book called Al Insaf that the you know the fees is on the one who pays the zakat. So if we say like you move the zakat from a country to a country, so if it needs like an amount of money for that transfer or that moving, I so if it needs, for example, some money from the Baytul Mal, well, it's gonna be like so expensive, so it can be sold in this country and then be taken there and take the money and just like buy uh, commodities and give it to the people. Ibn Uthaymeen also, Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen said almost the same thing. So his point, or Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen said, if like if you wanna, for example, somebody give you zakat, and then you're gonna take this zakat from this country to another country. So you take that travel fees, for example, from the one who gives you that money of zakat. He's not gonna spend from his own pocket. This one who's actually taking the money with him. So if you are paying this money, for example, to any organization, right, any humanitarian organization, so you would just like bring that issue to their attention. They might actually cut this one from zakah, but again, this is like something they are necessity to do that. Second question, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sheikh, the husband is not happy with his wife. He want to divorce his wife. They have a kid of like 18 years old. What are the rights of the wife or the lady? She prefers to stay in Canada next to her son. The father doesn't want to do that. He want to take the son. Her salary is in Canada is very little. It's not gonna actually be enough to cover like the rent and the living expensive. And if she goes and seek help from like the Canadian court, is that considered like a non-shar'i method? So my sister, the default or the main issue here is to go to the shar'i, judgment. Uh, you can actually reach the Islamic sinners. If they are not capable of giving you the rights and taking this rights from your husband and give it to you, so at that time only there is nothing wrong to go to the civic judge or court. As long as your requirements are mashru'a, are according to sharia. So he writes number one, like the muakhar sadaq, like the dowry, the later paid dowry, for example, or the part of the dowry that should be paid later. Nafaqa. And Sheikh says also like there is something called mut'a, which is like a gift. Just like Al Azhar has like a document like did like some estimation. It's up to like 5 years. And some other organizations or Islamic societies, they said there is no major limit for the number of years in which the husband should actually do his best to make her feel better after that kind of like divorce, especially when she lives out of the Muslim countries, and she's not young anymore, and she should not be let. If she would have like kids in the at young age, she should have the custody over them. But in this case, they said they have only one child. He's 18 years old. And then the nafaqa of iddah, the muakhar sadaq, and the mut'a money, such that like the judge or the court would feel like she's gonna be in comfort after that kind of divorce, in order to protect her from any harm or hurt would come to her in after this divorce. Somebody said, I work in a company, he would register as incoming and like exiting. He also work as like muhaffid of Quran Kareem, like teacher of Quran Kareem, with a monthly salary. That's like the first one does the work in the private company. The second one work in the as a teacher of Quran, recite, muhaffid of Quran Kareem. So the first one actually So the first one asked the second one to give him like a loan. When he when he pays back without any increase, is that money that he takes from the second guy is halal or haram? Well, if any money, if any income made out of haram source, so it's gonna be the person who's gonna accountable for that is the one who did it or the one who does it. It's not gonna transfer to those who actually work together. For example, if you work hard and make earn money from a source, halal source, and then for example, you work in a company and somebody, you are a driver and somebody is like a thief. He stole that money and then he ride your boss, for example, or your taxi. Your money is halal. Whatever you earn is halal. You're not accountable for what he, like committed. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, كل نفس بما كسبت رهينة. Every soul is going to be accountable for what that soul earned or what she or that soul has done. But what is left here is to advise him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has asked us to advise each other because we are like ibad mu'mineen, we are mu'mineen, and the rights over each other is to what? Is to advise, to pass the advice. Deen is nasiha, deen is advice. We ask the Prophet, to whom, O Prophet of Allah? He said, for Allah, for His Rasul, and all the believers and everybody. Man has some cash money in the West. He has a choice between, putting that money as deposit to buy a new house, or Hajj. Sheikh says, well, I would advise him to go first to Hajj. This is fard. Buying the house. Like he has to fulfill what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it fard on him, which is Hajj in this case. So, for example, he doesn't have to buy a house. He might actually rent an apartment. He might rent a house. So his need of being in a house can actually be fulfilled by what? Living in a rental place. So, as Prophet ﷺ said, perform Hajj before you cannot make it, or before you are not capable of make it or do it. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. Is the having such troubles or such issues, like dispute between the people during the time of iftar or suhoor, between the kids and their parents? I'm among them, by the way. Is that ghadab from Allah? Is that something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not pleased with us? Again, the Sheikh says dispute between Muslims in general is like a bad thing. It's not a good thing, especially when it's like between the family members. Try to avoid that. Try to fix between the kids and their father, or the kids and their mother. This is ubudiyah. This is an act of worship. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pleased with people who actually try to fix this dispute between people, especially the mu'mineen. somebody in Taraweeh prayer, he felt like there is like this fluid or that liquid comes from his private part. So I think he meant like the two fluids. One of them is mani, the other one is mazi. So the mani is coming like after like a very strong desire, where the mazi actually comes out, you know. So I think he's talking about mazi as the Sheikh says. So the way to make tahara out of mazi is to just spread water, spray water over that on like the cloth. Some people have this is like an illness, you know. It's like a medical problem. So they have to, make tuhur or tahara just before each salah. So and after that they renew their tahara for the next prayer and so on. So that's like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made that easy for them. So again they just spray the water over their underwear, for example, and then if he's until he comes back to home he can actually change his clothes and then he renew his wudu and so on. A person is willing to send some money to help his family. They have a special issue or a special condition now. Can he pay with his credit card and then, within paying with riba? If you are capable of paying them and paying back before you are paying that kind of interest, it's better. I would advise to put your effort to send the money to your family as long or as soon as possible and try to pay back before you are it's a time to pay that interest or that fa'ida. The patient or the sick person with waswas, he's taken some medications. He's always doubts about saying something or cursing somebody. Is he accountable for that, or he has like kind of ridda? My son, seek, seek like having like treatment out of what you have, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has secured, dawa for every da around. So try to see like a doctor, a physician, a psychiatrist, a psychologist. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His mercy is large, is wide, including everyone. And as a patient, there is nothing wrong or no haraj on these situations or these issues when you have like doubts about what you said or what you did by cursing or not cursing. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring us to His mercy, bless us, and help our brothers and sisters around the house of Allah in Al-Quds to forgive their children, their elders, their women, everybody, to give them victory over their enemies. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala fix our children, forgive us, forgive our parents, and forgive their parents, and forgive those who have rights over us. جزاكم الله خيرا والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.